You ever get the feeling that the world is run by bullies who never got picked up for sports in school? I think that's what's happening now. The whole US Israel issue is absolutely absurd, and none of this makes sense other than the fact that the bullies just love bullying around, and no country is actually brave enough to do anything about it. So much for bravery. In this video, I will give my take on why the whole US-Iran-Israel issue is happening and why the Middle Eastern countries are the main culprits/cowards here. Let's be real. Israel says it bombed Iran to stop them from getting nukes. But that claim, it's not new. It's old. Like 1992 old. That's when Netanyahu first started yelling that Iran was 3 to 5 years away from making a nuclear weapon. Then in 2009, then in 2012 with that dumb cartoon bomb at the UN. And now in 2025, the same scare tactic, but still no bomb. Here's the kicker. Israel's own military said in 2023, they didn't find any evidence Iran is creating a nuclear bomb. The CIA, the same thing. The UN watchdog, the same thing. Even Tulsi Gabbard said it in this year, I think in March, that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon. So who's lying here? Because if everyone from the Mossad to the CIA is saying that Iran is not making a bomb, why is Bibi trying to sell us another war? Because here's what I believe. Israel wants total control of the Middle East. They want to be the only bully in the bloc. They already bought cowards like Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Bahrain to do that. But one country that didn't kneel to the mob bosses of the world, and that's Iran. Now don't get me wrong, Iran isn't perfect. It's not some utopia. But neither is America or Israel, or in fact any country. Now, let's get strategic. Israel bomb Iran. Fine. But did they really think Iran is just like another Palestine? A state that can't fight back? That was their first mistake. Iran has one of the most advanced ballistic missile systems in the world. And guess what? They're sitting right next to Israel and right next to dozens of US military bases scattered across the Middle East. So before Israel did the strike, what intel did Mossad give them? What did they say about the retaliation? Because it doesn't look like they planned this out pretty well. The Iron Dome used to intercept 90% of incoming fire. Now it's just doing 63%. And Iran hasn't even brought out the big guns yet. So I'm asking again, what did Mossad feed Bibi? If anyone knows, drop it in the comments. Meanwhile, Iran is already in the EU for diplomatic talks. But over in the US, we have got the mighty Trump saying whatever he wants to. He even boasted he knows where Khamenei is hiding and he won't kill him for now. Like, seriously, who gave him the power to talk like that? If any country without a nuclear weapon said something like this, it would be a rogue country, a terrorist country, or an aggressor country. So why does America get a free pass? So after all that noise, America went to Iran and bombed their sites. And get this, some crazy US president named Trump is out there calling this the most precise military operation ever done in the history of the world. Really? Because to me, I think this is the most dumbest operation ever done in the history of the world. So let's break it down. Iran isn't stupid. You think they're just gonna keep all the uranium and the missile parts sitting out in the open at Natanz or Fort? Come on. Even after the first bomb dropped, Iran had already cleared those facilities. They moved all the sensitive parts out. Convoys were spotted leaving days before the strike. It is called strategic dispersal, and any military analyst with a working brain should have seen that coming. So either the US knew about it and did the bombing anyways just for the headlines, or they just didn't know, which is even worse. In both cases, it's a tactical loss for them. You didn't stop Iran's program, you just gave them moral ammo, global sympathy, and more the reason to accelerate the nuclear program or whatever they had planned, which they aren't, which is confirmed by the UN. But really, let's see it from this angle. The US hates North Korea, but did you ever see them being funny with them and talking about the regime change? Nope, only because they have nukes. Is anyone talking about Israel carrying nukes in the Middle East? Everyone knows they have it, and it isn't a made-up story. And they never let IDEA visit their facilities, and no one seems to talk about it. And now, the so-called negotiator king, Trump, is creating this whole situation, is just giving all the nations all the more reason to be thinking about nukes or thinking about much more destructive weapons. So if this was the smartest operation ever, maybe stop letting dumb people run it. Until now, at the time that I am recording, Iran didn't retaliate against US. Instead, they're dismantling Israel with their missiles. That's smart. You can't spar two wars at the same time. The real dagger that Iran has is the Strait of Hormuz. They already had a parliamentary vote to block the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's crude oil and LNG flow. The Iranian parliament backed the move, but the supreme leader still has to sanction it. Even threatening the choke points will rattle the market. Brent crude oil jumped nearly 10% today. So yes, no bombs by Iran yet, but they are tightening the screws. Now, look at the real cost. Gulf brothers, Saudi's airspace are open to Israelis to shoot guns. Business as usual. UAE and Bahrain, they're still cozying up with Bibi and his bonanza. No soul, no courage. They've already sold their parts of dignity to the West, and it's happening on camera. So while Iran holds fire, ready to starve the global economy of oil if pushed, those Gulf countries stand by and watch. So I don't blame the West. Whatever they're doing right now is known to us. They have been doing this for centuries. But the Gulf nations, shame on you guys. They are your Muslim brothers, and you are doing nothing for them. So let's keep watching. This thing is far from over.